do I really have to do this album? See, I got this friend of mine over here. He's not real. He's in the air. Oh man, here we go. Today I'm going to be talking about my commentary on Empire Burlesque, Bob Dylan. Oh, what was this? 23rd album. Now, of course, this was definitely the decline for Bob Dylan, I mean, I hate to say this, but I'm going to be kind of bashing, kind of being a little bit objective on some of this. Some of these, of course, latter 80s albums by Dylan, except for Oh Mercy. I feel like Oh Mercy kind of picked himself back up a little bit. But oh boy, here we go. Released June of 1985. Dylan produced this album by himself. He didn't have what's his name. He didn't have Mark Knopfler in the picture. We do, of course, have the other people that were from Infidels that are on this album, like Robbie Shakespeare and Mike Campbell from the Heartbreakers. It says here as I have the Rolling Stone special collector edition. Rolling Stone critic here, Andy Green, says here, Dylan together with a hip-hop pioneer for a glossy 80s misfire. Oh man, doesn't that sum that album? I mean, look at that album cover. That really just shouts gaudy, for sure, I mean, you had a lot of people. David Bowie and Tina Turner and Rod Stewart and Bruce Springsteen that were so very iconic and even Dylan, for God's sakes, were humongous icons of like the previous decade. And now, here they are having to get turned in with the 80s syndrome and all that, Yeah, Dylan, of course, like everybody else, had to roll with the times or whatever. He collaborated with Arthur Baker, which I don't know who he is, but I looked up, he was from, he's from New England. He's in New England. And apparently he was 29 years old when he collaborated with Dylan. Now, he didn't produce the album, but he kind of was the side guy there with him. Maybe kind of wrote, maybe not wrote, but he was kind of telling him, hey, this song's good, you should put this on the album. Oh, hey, this sounds good. And he worked with a lot of electronic groups or whatever, mostly the Pet Shop Boys and New Order. I forgot what kind of genre they call that, But what we got here is pretty much just pure 80s on this album. I mean, we got new wave, we got reggae, we got Dylan trying to be hip, trying to sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, this sounds like... Now, I don't want to be a little bit of an ass, but I kind of feel like those artists, like Rod Stewart and David Bowie, do that better than Dylan, I think. Because I feel like some of the songs on here, and even, for God's sakes, even the ballad type stuff on here, I feel like he's phoning it in a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you can see the sincerity of him, but you can tell that he's a little bit like, I'm full of shit, Sorry about that, but I had to say it. Dylan's like, yeah, no, I'm full of crap here, And I can see it in some of these songs, which is, whatever. So we got, Alan Clark, the usual people, Carolyn Dennis. And apparently Carolyn Dennis was in a woo with a woo of Dylan. I think during Saved or Shot of Love, I believe. And they had an unannounced kid that they were bringing in. Jim Keltner, amazing. Of course he's stuck with the stupid drums or whatever. And Al Cooper, rhythm guitar, he's playing on When the Night Comes Falling from the Sky. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the album. I feel like some of the album does have a little bit of the biblical allusions, imagery a little bit on here. And the first track, Tight Connection to My Heart. Now Empire Burlesque charted at 33, but this was a huge album in New Zealand, which is crazy. And this was a single that the New Zealanders all ate up. Tight Connection to My Heart. But yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about Tight Connection to My Heart. This was actually kind of a song that came before this. There was another, before this version, there was a different title which was called Someone's Got a Hold of My Heart, which is still whatever. It was from Infidels. And oh boy, man. This is pretty bad with the really cheesy synthesizer and the really crappy the one saving grace I do like is the ending track and actually the background vocals. Now some of the backing can be a little spotty, but I think here it's actually not too bad. But oh man, I mean you can just see somebody like Tina Turner doing this, or somebody like Carol Bayer Sager in the 80s or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty horrid with the lines as, I'm going to get my coat, I feel the breath of a storm, there's something I've got to do tonight. You got inside and stay warm. Now also Dylan too, which I'm not really familiar with, is that he took some lines from a series of Bogart movies. Now I don't know if that was Baker's, I don't know if Baker was in part of that or whatever, or if he was kind of in control of maybe of that, but I'm not sure. Whatever. It came from some of the lines here came from some movies from Bogart or whatever. I believe like Key Largo or whatever, some of those famous movies that he was in. Yeah. I mean the lyrics are just really just flat out not really digging. Like, who's wearing a powdered blue wig? Tight connection to my heart. And there's also a really horrible music video where he's like in Tokyo or something. It's pretty bad, whatever. Okay, then we get Seeing the Real You at Last. I definitely hear a little bit of the biblical stuff he's still kind of lingering in on this song. But yeah, really cheesy stuff on here, including the really horrible saxophone on this. This is pretty bad. Guitars are alright. I feel like some of the guitar work here is a little bit wankery at times. Lines here as, I'm hungry and I'm irritable and I'm tired of this bag of tricks. At one time there was nothing wrong with me that you could not fix. Well, I sailed through the storm, strapped to the mast, but the time has come and I'm seeing the real you at last. Now, I do like the lyrics. The lyrics are actually kind of good on some of these songs, but some of them are just a little bit phony, and I feel like he's throwing it in just as yeah, I'm full of crap here, Yeah, I mean, that one's, whatever. Whatever you're going to do, please do it fast. I'm still trying to get used to seeing the real you at last. Whatever. Okay, and then we get to one of those Dylan type, I'm going to do a ballad, but I'm going to make it cheesy and really phoning it in as I'll Remember You. It's okay. I mean, the lyrics, once again, the lyrics are actually kind of okay, a little bit decent. Like the piano work here by Dylan, but once you get to the really Casio synthesizers and just the whole craziness of just that production during the mid-'80s, it gets kind of bad. I do like this verse, or this whole stanza. I'll remember you at the end of the trail. I had so much left to do. I had so little time to fail. There's some people that you don't forget, even though you've seen them one, two time or two. When the roses fade and I'm in the shade, I'll remember you. So that's kind of a nice line, But, oh yeah, by the way, I do want to go back to Seeing the real you at last. I do like how he references Annie Oakley, because I'm kind of a big fan of the musical. Of course he took it from, well, Annie Oakley was a real person, but of course they made into Annie Get Your Gun, the musical or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, that one's okay. I'll Remember You. Oh, then we get this song. Talk about really crappy, I'm going to go bluesy. I'm going to be like Stevie Ray Vaughan. And try to phone it in, too. Is Clean Cut Kid. I hate this song. Ugh. And made a killer out of him. Yeah, he was a clean-cut kid, but they made a killer out of him. Now, I believe this was a song that was actually done back during Infidels. You can definitely see he was kind of throwing a little bit of that on this album too as well. Now, it's about probably a kid that was, had wealth or whatever and got drafted to the war. Now, I'm pretty sure in the 80s there was some wars lingering, but it wasn't really too big. I guess not Korean, but was the Iraq War, I believe, was going on then? I don't really know, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, the lyrics are kind of what they are. They say, congratulations, you got what it takes. They sent him back into the rat race without any breaks. It's like, I feel like he kind of half-assed sometimes on this, on this. Yeah, really cheesy, bluesy crapola. Yeah, I'm not really big on that song. Okay, then the last song on side one is Never Gonna Be the Same Again. I do kind of like it, okay, but I really hate the, Sonic the Hedgehog, the video game, if you're kind of around my age or whatever. The really dingy kind of keyboards. Oh my God, they're within this whole song. The background vocals are just so like, hey, we're throwing this in, we don't care. It's just, oh God. Yeah, sorry if I hurt you, baby. Sorry if I did. Sorry if I touched the place where your secrets are hid. But you meant more than everything, and I could not pretend. I ain't never gonna be the same again. It's okay. I mean, once again, with the horrible keys that are in this. Ding, 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 ding. Come on, Dylan. Okay, then side two of the album, on side one, or side two, whatever, first track, well, sixth track or whatever, is Trust Yourself. Now, I do actually kind of like this song. It has a little bit of a Heartbreakers sound to it, and it has a little bit of that gospel, the early gospel albums that, like Saved or Shot of Love or something, which is cool. I do gotta say, this is actually a saving grace, other than the last track. This song here. I like Dylan's confident vocals here. Really love the kind of the smoothness here. Like, trust yourself to know the way that you'll prove true in the end. Trust yourself. Trust yourself to find the path where there is no if and when. If you want somebody you can trust yourself. And I like that. Really like that message. So it doesn't seem like he's phoning it in or try to, there's some things like, hey, And then I also kind of like this song too as well. It's not perfect or anything. It's Emotionally Yours. I'll probably read the whole thing. Let me go in and I'll do that. It says, come baby, find me, come baby, remind me of where I once begun. Come baby, show me you know me. Tell me you're the one I could be learning. You could be yearning to see behind closed doors. But I will always be emotionally yours. And I like the way he plays the piano too as well. It's actually a really good ballad here on the album. Do gotta say, if I had to say something nice on the album, I do gotta give credit to this one. Come baby, rock me, come baby, lock me into the shadows of your heart. Come baby, teach me, come baby, reach me. Let the music start. I could be dreaming, but I could keep believing you're the one I'm living for, and I'll always be emotionally yours. It's like my whole life never happened when I see you. It's as if I never had a thought. I know this dream, it might be crazy, but it's the only one I've got. Come baby, shake me. Come baby, take me. I would be satisfied. Come baby, hold me. Come baby, help me. My arms are open wide. I could be unraveling wherever I'm traveling, even to foreign shores. But I will always be emotionally yours. Beautiful song. I definitely like the lyrics. And the song is actually pretty good. Of course, once again, you get some of the cheesy, horrible, reverby, snare, really bad, horrid drums. Okay, then we get When the Night Comes Falling from the Sky. Now, I do like the bootleg. It's off of the Volume 3 CD, I believe. And I do kind of like the alternate version. Of course, this is the crappy, let's go ahead and make I'm Still Standing Part 2 by Elton John. Oh, God. This is right up your alley. If you like that whole 80s collage of all the cheesy, crappy sax and crappy keys and crappy whole reverb crap. This is it. But once again, some of the lyrics are actually good. I actually do like some of the lyrics on this song. And I believe it has something to do with a little bit of Jesus, maybe, perhaps, like kind of like like he's forced, like no, kind of making connection with Jesus, kind of. Like, look out across the field, see me returning. Smoke is in your eye, and you draw a smile from the fireplace where my letters to you are burning. You've had time to think about it for a while. Well, I've walked 200 miles, now look me over. It's the end of the chase, and the moon is high. It won't matter who loves you, or loves who. You'll love me, or I'll love you when the night comes falling from the sky. So it may be about the, when Jesus got risen, kind of a little bit on that. In your teardrops, I see my own reflection. It was on the northern border of Texas where I crossed the line. I don't want to be a fool starving for affection. I don't want to drown in someone else's wine. Once again, another literary thing on Jesus, This time I'm asking for freedom, freedom from a world which you deny. And you'll give it to me now. I'll take it anyhow when the night comes falling from the sky. So the lyrics, once again, I really do like the lyrics, but again, the production and the song, because I'm pretty sure with Arthur Baker's, feel on the, on the instrumentation here of all the players on here, it's pretty crappy. Then we get Something's Burning, Baby. He says a lot of babies on this album. Whatever. I do like the song okay. I do like this last verse. Something is burning, baby. Something in flames. There's a man going around calling names. Ring down when you're ready, baby. I'm waiting for you. I believe in the impossible, and you know that I do. That's pretty good. Okay, and then the last song at the end of the album is Dark Eyes. Now this is just Dylan with acoustic guitar and harmonica, and it actually sounds something from his early days or something from the 70s or whatever. It's actually really quite good. Really like it. They tell me to be discreet for all intended purposes. They'll tell me revenge is sweet and from where they stand. I'm sure it is. But I feel nothing for their game where beauty goes unrecognized. All I feel is heat and flame, and all I see is your dark eyes. Oh, time is short and the days are sweet, and passion rules the arrow that flies. A million faces at my feet, but all I see is dark eyes. Perfect. I do like the ending track, but I'm telling you folks, it was a hard time getting to this album. And tell you the truth, I'm not going to be really big on these next few albums that come up, I think mostly they were kind of cover albums. I mean, there were some stuff that, you know, as always, the Dylan fashion, you know, take and borrow. But, you know, it's kind of okay for what it is, Empire Burlesque. And the back of the album's even worse if you've seen the back cover of Empire Burlesque. But anyways, I've talked too much. 20 minutes here. Okay, folks, that's me about Empire Burlesque. Not really a big fan of it. Okay, folks, bye-bye.